Hi, Andrew here at our favorite dollar store right next to the BAM Harvey Theater.
I'm Hannah Montana.
Oh, that's funny.
Look at her. This is a terribly photoshopped image of her.
So tonight,
I'm here to talk about the new Persephone at BAM.
Okay.
Starring Julia Childs.
We might have to start this over again. Professionalism. Tonight we're seeing Persephone at the BAM Harvey Theater starring
Julia Stiles.
And it's
I called her Julia Childs.
I know.
Just now.
It's
a different show.
It's sort of a take on the classic Greek mythology. There's projections. I think we've seen some of their projection, some of their performances before. So
I'm excited. You know, everything at BAM it always packs a wallop, and
that's true.
Rarely are we ever disappointed.
Yes.
And, you know, as well, we should be not disappointed because it's a trek to get the heck out here.
Yes.
They provide a bus.
The BAM bus.
The BAM bus, which we don't take, but, you know, it's fun. It's a party bus, basically,
also,
for theater goers.
Who can resist being able to go to the best dollar store right next door? So we're going to leave the camera here. We're going to see the show, Persephone, at the BAM Harvey Theater. We'll see you after the show.
See you after the show.
Well, we just got out, and I think that we were mistaken. She was never in Law & Order.
No, she wasn't. Listen, here's how I felt about this production.
Okay.
I felt about this production not unlike the way that the fictional character of mythology, Persephone's mother, must have felt. 6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other.
Good point.
Half and half. Like, parts of this were just enchanting and mind-blowing. And
mind spa for your eyeballs.
Wow, a mind spa for your eyeballs.
It was like a mind...
That is a quotable quote.
No, part of it, I was sitting back and it's a mind spa for my eyeballs.
I was just having an orgasm in my brain.
But some of it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Not at all.
Parts of it were not my cup of tea.
Really just like oddly off and incongruous. There's a whole subplot about the actors talking about who's a bad actor, who's a good actor, and the humorous part there is that the only bad actor is the actor acting as though he's the director in the play. I found some of his lines insufferably delivered.
It seems like it was a concert, like mostly.
Yes.
It felt like it was a concert first and foremost, and then they said, well, let's put a plot to it. So they put this kind of cockamamie plot of a meta play within a play. Just give us the music and the visuals. They can stand alone.
Because they do stand alone. Very well on their own.
Especially the last segment with the time-lapse photography was gorgeous. They should have just done that. That's all they would have had to have done, they would have sold me on it.
I have to say, this did kind of take me back to my younger days.
In 1842.
Going to the planetarium.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit twisted. Because it was like the best laser light show with music. The music was fantastic. The singing was gorgeous. The way they used the space was just tremendous. The way that they took over. Sometimes people use that BAM Harvey Theater appropriately, and sometimes they try to cram their production into it. Yeah. And other times they just embrace it, and this embraced it so well, so warmly. It was such a wonderful synthesis of film, theater, music.
But at the same time, it's also a conglomeration of too many cooks in the kitchen.
Seriously, too much seasoning.
Too much seasoning. The parts were still in, like the parts we weren't very fond of. They did not work, and it really was kind of a glaring.
But I still, honestly though,
it outweighs it. Do you think it outweighs it?
I think the good outweighs
the 6 months in winter outweigh the 6. Wait.
Well, they make you appreciate the summer that much more. Yeah.
Also,
don't forget about spring and fall too.
Also, whoever left Laurie Anderson's vocoder that changes the voice backstage, she needs it back after the production.
That was one of my favorite elements was the sound design because part of the subtext of the plot is this fear that film will supplant theater, and the way that they used technology to augment live performance, I felt was just kind of spoke to that idea, that fear of the onslaught of new technology making the classic traditions of culture irrelevant. And this absorbed the new into the old in a lovely way.
Time to wrap it up. We have a thing to get to. Yeah. Speaking of Persephone,
phone it in.
Currently showing at the BAM Harvey Theater. This is Andrew. We're going to show you this tree that's beautiful, by the way.
Tree over here.
One more really quick thing. Avant-garde directors of theater, please stop having the director of the theater do cocaine backstage as a sign of his irresponsibility.
And we've seen it before. The backstage.
Yeah, you don't need to show him doing cocaine.
Yeah. Although, honestly, the show I was mad at that, but then the show made me feel like I was on acid. So it
Yeah.
kind of evens out. I don't know.
Well, I say if they would have done more cocaine, it could have prevented the show from being a bit too sluggish
Maybe
at times.
they could have sped through
Could
those
have been a little bit
moments.
more
Those rough patches
peppier.
could have been quicker. Yeah.
Pep, 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 pep. That's all. Last one we promise.